This is a response to Atheist's most feared question, which is kind of an oxymoron to me, because I am an atheist due to the fact that I was never afraid to ask the tough questions. I can't provide absolute proof of there being no God, but I can provide proof that you are absolutely wrong. I'll address this in 3 points. Biblical contradictions. To prove that none of the world's religions are true would be a massive undertaking, although not as massive as you might think, due to the fact that most religious texts are held up to be inerrant. So all I have to do is find one error. And errors are like roaches. If you see one, there's 100 more hiding under the floorboards. And yes, there are many more. Historical evidence. Now I know many people claim that the Bible is grounded historically, but the truth is, for every alleged historical fact that is held up to prove that the Bible is accurate, there is a mountain of factoids we know to be false. After 100 years of searching, there is no evidence that the Exodus ever took place. The Tower of Babel story is not a plausible explanation for how different languages form. There is not one document written by someone who knew Jesus, or even lived at the same time as he allegedly did. And yes, that includes the Bible. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were not authored by the characters whose names they bear, and they don't even claim to be. There is no proof of Jesus' existence. Science. The writings of the Bible seem very much to be written by men who were limited by the knowledge of their day. I would argue that if the Bible was written by the creator of the universe, it would not have been able to be used to justify flat earth theology, geocentric theology, and today's anti-evolution movement. If God wrote a book, I would expect it to reflect a highly accurate scientific understanding and at least not contradict scientific principles. Perhaps it would go something like, in the beginning, I, God, created time and space, all the particles therein. Over many years, these particles clumped together to form stars, which would in turn manufacture more complex materials needed to form the Earth and ultimately life. Or maybe, in the beginning, E equals mc squared. That would prove it to me. Perhaps he would keep it even more simple. On the first day I created the heavens. On the second day I created the stars. Third day Earth was formed, etc. At least if it was in the correct order. I could live with that, I think. Perhaps he would have mentioned the animals started out as simpler forms and got more complex over time, with mollusks and arthropods coming first, moving on to fish and amphibians. Or maybe he would have said something about the Earth being a sphere rather than a circle inscribed on the waters. Of course, the story of Noah's Ark is ridiculous. If you don't know why, I don't think there's anything I can do for you. It's now known through genetics that there could not have been a literal Adam and Eve. It is because of these reasons and many more that I now believe, have faith that there is no God. And why should I? Why should I? I had no trouble with the scientific contradictions as a believer. I simply didn't read those passages. I simply ignored it. And of course I didn't know about the contradictions because no guided Bible study would focus on these. I was not stupid. I was not insane. I simply believed something because I thought it was beautiful. I thought there was truth in it, and there still may indeed be truth in it. I can still read it and be inspired by it, but that does not mean that it's true. When I first began to doubt, I realized how much I wanted and needed to believe this. This only increased my doubt. Because when you want to believe something, you fool yourself. But now I know the truth. And the truth has set me free. Thanks for hearing me out.